In this class, we are going to learn how to create a draft message or a draft email with the help of Microsoft Graph API for our Outlook mailbox. In our earlier class, we had seen how we can get the list of all the emails or messages available in our mailbox with the help of list messages Graph API. If you have not watched that class, please check out the class before going ahead with this class. Here, Microsoft has documented in detail what are the steps we need to follow in order to make use of Microsoft's Graph API in order to create a draft message. So we can have a MIME format as well as the JSON format. We are going to consider the example of JSON format over here, as we are going to make use of Postman client for demonstration purpose. You can make use of MIME as well if you are going for coding or with the help of programming. Now if I scroll down, the main focus of interest over here is the permissions. As I am making use of my personal Microsoft account, that is outlook.com, I am adding this Mail.ReadWrite permissions. We have explained in detail how we can add the delegated as well as application permissions for our Azure app while registering any application or post registering as well. Please check out those classes if you are not sure how to add the permissions. Now if I scroll down, there are few sample requests provided by Microsoft, like how we can construct the message if we are going to construct with the help of JSON. Here you can toggle over here the tabs and select the appropriate programming language what you are making use in order to communicate with Microsoft Graph API. So I am going to make use of Postman client, so I am keeping this HTTP tab default and I am making use of those URL and the body for demonstration. And if I scroll down, there is one more sample provided wherein we can send the custom headers for our message. So this will be helpful while dequeuing or reading the messages programmatically. Based on the header, you can dequeue. Also, if you scroll down, there is an example 3 provided wherein the Microsoft has shown how we can send the MIME format. This is the base64 format wherein you have to send all the details like the 2cc, bcc address, all those stuffs, body as well as the attachment details in the MIME format. Just make sure it doesn't exceed the 4 MB limit. The limit is mentioned over here. The MIME message payloads are currently limited to 4 MB. More than that, if you try to send, you will get 413 request entity too large error. So just make sure you are sending within this 4 MB limit. So without wasting much time, let's begin with our hands-on. I am currently in the Postman client. I have created couple of requests over here. One is without attachment and one is with attachment. I will walk you through one by one both the request over here. Now if I see the documentation and the sample request, I will copy first from here the sample request and paste it over here. Just make sure in the authorization you get the latest access token and also you are using auth 2.0. Also you need to make sure the permission is added over here. Apart from this, we are having couple of more permission that is not required. So if you want, you can remove. Just make sure you have this read write permission. Now switch over to the body. I have copy pasted exactly the request whatever Microsoft has documented in their docs page. Now instead of this mail address, I will write over here our Gmail email address, gmail.com. Now if you want to change the content, we can change over here. Currently it is set to HTML. You can send text as well. Subject, importance, high, low, we can set over here. Once done, click on send. Before clicking on send, let me show you in my draft folder in my mailbox if there are any prior mails present or not. As you can see over here, I am in the drafts folder in my mailbox. Currently I don't have any draft emails that I am going to create right now. I am clicking on this send. So I have got 201 created message with the ID. This is the unique message ID what we will get for our messages in mailbox. Now let me go to this and just refresh. As you can see, there is a email or a draft message created. That is with the body and the subject whatever we had provided over here. As you can see, we had made the awesome as bold. It is coming as is. Now in the subject, if you want to modify, we can modify. So this will be helpful if you are not sure about what to create the message, or if you are making use of bots which will create a draft message and at the end of the day executive will go through the email and they will manually send the mails. Also we can automate. We will learn how we can send the draft messages from our mailbox as well going ahead with our classes. So this was for the first request. Let me go to the documentation and check the second. So here there is a second sample wherein Microsoft says creating a draft message which includes custom message headers. So there won't be any difference we can make out from the UI, that is from here. but those will be visible only with the backend. Like if you are making use of any programming language for dequeuing the messages, then you can make use of these custom headers and you can dequeue the messages appropriately. Now let me just rename this to our Gmail address, binum.apps@gmail.com. Now click on send. So we got this 201 created message. Let me go to my mailbox. As you can see, I am having one more message over here. The group represent Washington. So earlier we had created this, that is, did you see last night's game? And the latest one is this one. So from the UI we cannot make out exactly the headers, but everything will be visible in the backend. If you know how to verify those from the UI, please write in the comment section so that everyone will know how we can check the custom headers in the UI itself. Now the last one is a MIME. I'm not considering this example. You can make use of this whenever you are trying to create a new draft message using MIME format. So in the couple of requests which we have seen just now, we didn't add any attachment. Suppose if your requirement is to add the attachments along with the message and the body subject, how we can do that, we will learn now. I have created this request. The only difference over here is I have added these things, those properties. One is for the attachments and one more property is has attachments. We have to set to true, and in the attachments this is an array. As you can see, we can add n number of attachments. So while adding any attachment, we need to tell what is the type. In the type we are mentioning microsoft.graph.file attachment. We have to provide the file's name. I'm just giving this as a text file, and this is nothing but this will have a message which I have encoded in base64 format with the help of Notepad++ tool on my computer. So this base64 content, if you decode, it will tell this is a sample attachment. So apart from this, everything is same whatever we had seen in the previous request, that is with including the headers. Now if you go back to this documentation, there is a section called as attachment. Just expand this and click on attachments. Here you can click on a file or the file attachment resource and you can go through the sample request which we can use while making a request. I have considered the same example wherein I am sending the odata.type as file attachment and with the details like what is the name and the content for that particular file. If you are looking for an exact format, like how we can know what is the exact format in which we have to send, if you go to the documentation on the left side under posts, we are having add a attachment. Click on this. It will open the add attachment documentation page. If you scroll down, there is a section over here. We need to copy and paste exactly same what you see over here. I have done the same wherein the name of this array is attachments. Within the array we are having one object and we are having a JSON name and the value like data type, name and the content type. So exactly same I have copied over here. So let me click on this send. So we are getting this 201 created message. Let me go to the mailbox. There is a draft message created over here. Now if you see, two addresses there, the group represents Washington, the message is there. Now let me open this sample attachment which it has attached. As I told, the message which I have encoded in base64, it carried, this is a sample attachment text. Same thing it has written over here with the name whatever we had populated over here under the names. So like this, with the help of create draft message graph APIs, we can create a draft message and place in our mailbox so that we can manually check at the end of the day or an executive could be assigned in order to validate those draft mails and they can send at the end of the day. In our next class, we will also learn how we can automate sending of the draft messages which are available in the draft folder in our mailbox.